It is their game of the best.
So they say in football, your problems will always hurt you. Portmore United, biggest issue for the entirety of the season would have been a striker putting the ball in the back of the net, and they have exited the 2024-2025 Jamaica Premier League in the second leg of the quarterfinals via the same issue. That is definitely what kicked them out. Certainly, Cavalier was phenomenal. Both games were phenomenal games between the two teams. It was technically the best games of football we have seen so far this season. Portmore United, unfortunately, journey end in the quarterfinals. Cavalier always and will always seems to be live on and fight on for the next game. Now, Montego Bay and Tivoli, that game was an hectic game. Montego Bay walked away slimly, I would say. But definitely, they look the team who would get the job done, and a lot of controversy surrounding that game as well. So welcome back, people, to MG Sports TV. Thank you very much again for tuning in. I'm very disappointed, very, very disappointed. I'm not disappointed in the team because I think I really believe that the team gave everything that they have, that they had, and it's just football. If you don't have, you need to have those key players who can put the ball in the back of the net. Yes, Portmore United do have players who can do that, but we don't have a lot of them. We do not have a lot of them. We have players who can control the game, players who can control the ball, dictate certain aspects of the game, but we do not have those type of players who can find the back of the net just like that. And we did get an opportunity. Unfortunately, it did not materialize. Let's touch on the first game, Portmore United versus Cavalier. This game definitely set to be quite an interesting one. Very, very close. Game started early. Portmore United on the front foot. Cavalier also on the front foot. A better start for Cavalier. First big opportunity came to Portmore United from an header inside the box and from Shandy James, and didn't really come off well. But that's the intent, early intent shown by Portmore United. Cavalier on the rebound now through Dennis, the youngster, trying to get himself in the foot. Ball followed the feet of Dwayne Atkinson. Goalkeeper Russell had to make a brilliant save where that is concerned. Atkinson looking quite sharp as always, as expected. Quite dangerous in this game. Very, very good player. Set piece here, doing Allen, whip a ball cross, and dead nice defensive work there from the Portmore United team. A lot of ricochet inside the 18-yard box. Deflection. Ball could have went anywhere, but the Portmore United defense stands strong like they always do. John Mara Calvin just lurking around trying to get involved. As you can see, Ritters getting involved. Deflection of the defensive boot from, I think it's Russell there. Portmore United on the transition, find himself in a good position. Robinson hit the ball at goal, and it came off doing Allen's harm, and Portmore United was granted a penalty. Now, this is what I'm talking about. In a moment like this, you need people who will step up and put the ball in the back of the net. You certainly will need that. This is a big, big opportunity here for Portmore United. Portmore United don't score a lot of goals, but when they do get the opportunities to, they have to put them away. You need to put them away because 90% of the time, a Portmore United game are going to end either 1-0, 1-1, or 2-1. Very, very close. Very, very close margin. But, well, especially when we're going up against good teams. we create few chances, but we can't put away. But Portmore United got a big, big break to separate the margins in this game. You can see Cavaliers there, and a big, big issue there. Rasoy steps up, went at goal, and Vino Bartlett went the right direction. Quite a brilliant save there, and maybe a little bit too central from Rasoy there. Surprised he went to that side of the goal, but that made the game itself now way more complex. As you can see, the Cavalier players are feeling it. And Rudolph has in training team. Russell again, cross inside the box and go at the back post. And Portmore United almost break the deadlock through Stephen Young. And Portmore United still on the go. Gotcha. Finds Brown on the back end, and Brown, a brilliant shot, goes across the face of the goal, and he was surprised he couldn't find the back of the net there. Portmore United found that extra gear, unfortunately just couldn't find the back of the net. Portmore United again cross inside the box, and Brown at the back post was unable to convert his big opportunity, a big chance here. Zimenez with a strike from way out had a wonderful game, I have to say. Gotcha again. Most of the chance so far is Robinson with a shot, and Vina Barkley jumped big in this game. It was a tremendous performance from Portmore United. But as you know, in football, if you can't find the back of the net, you are in trouble. Now the game ended at 0-0. The statistics are Portmore United 10 attempts, Cavalier 4 attempts on target, 3 from Portmore United, 1 for Cavalier. This is a full at 90-minute statistics. Portmore United had more of the possession as well, but that doesn't win the game. You have to put the ball in the back of the net. Game went on into the second half, and Cavalier on the counter. Brilliant player, Adrian Reed trying to find the back of the net. Clearance here from the fullback, and the ball deflected and dropped right into the path of Dwayne Atkinson. And what he does not waste any ounce or any chance. Very unfortunate from Portmore United. Extremely fortunate for Cavalier, and a bit of luck as well. Sometimes you need that in football, and that is something. And it was actually Zimenez with the challenge, and just fortunate there, because that was not definitely not a deliberate pass. And you can see the excitement through the Cavalier players. Their main man, finding the back of the net, and they celebrate and carry on. In the world of football, people, in the world of football, if you can't find the back of net, you will struggle. I thought this was a very good overall season with the lack of strike force that Portmore United have. Players in, out. But that's just how it is sometimes. It's tough. It's really tough. And Portmore United Achilles heel is the same issue that end up knock them out of the tournament. Nevertheless, Portmore United went into the tournament with about 40 plus goals. Everyone else had 65 plus goals. So you know that they had goal scorers, and that's what Portmore United lacked. So it's next year again for Portmore United. I thought the performance last from both teams was tremendous. Huge performance. Cavalier was good. Portmore United was good. It was a very good display, footballing display from both team. Very good tactical display from both coaches. Despite as a fan, lose the game, I love the fact that we weren't on play, we weren't back to the side, anything like that. We just knew exactly what our issue was, what the issue is. And it's just unfortunate, because sometimes you just have to get over the line. Sometimes you need to get over the line, despite your different your issues that you have. And that's the nature of football. Nevertheless, congratulations to Cavalier. Advance again. No, they are going up against Arnett Garden, who is... it doesn't matter how poor Cavalier is, Arnett Garden struggle against them. Really struggle against them. So it's going to be quite an interesting one that game, that matchup. So congrats Cavalier. They definitely deserve it. Once you can put the ball in the back of the net, you will get rewarded as such. Defense win a league, goals win a games, and unfortunately we weren't able to win that game. Next up on the agenda we have is Mobay versus Tivoli Garden. No, this game is... so much happened in this game. So much happened in this game. And let me tell you something. It's a game of football. Discipline is a big factor in football, right? And Tivoli Garden can most definitely argue a lot of decisions, argue a lot of things that happen in the game. But one thing they can't dispute is their own discipline. You have to maintain some of that. In some sense, people might say the referee allowed the game to get out of control, but definitely in the manner of how some of the things have happened, it shouldn't have gone down like that. Anyways, as the game kicks off, Mobay United was without one of their key man, Chanel Thomas. Saw him earlier. Early chance here for Owen Gordon, setting the tempo of the game with a brilliant save there from goalkeeper Clark. And technically Montego Bay just setting the tempo. What is to happen? Tivoli Garden now on the go, going forward. Big chance here for Tivoli Garden. Unsure why he decided to control that one. That was not the best decision in that moment. I'm even unsure if he was even aware of his positioning, and maybe that's the situation there. If he had known where he was, maybe he'd have hit it one time, and that would have been an equalizer. Big save there again for Clark as from Fletcher, as Montego Bay rocks up the pressure. First big opportunity for Tivoli Garden. Second big opportunity for Tivoli Garden. Not a shot from Wild. You can see, so technically it was an even game in regards to attacking power as expected. This is the big moment of the game where Fletcher get beyond the defender and the defender just took him out just like that. And that was just so unfortunate. Fletcher just got in front of the defender and defender pull him down. Fletcher with the penalty. And I don't know what happened here. Even on the rebound, it was some crazy stuff. People, a lot were asking questions what was going through his mind. Even in the rebound, like he was just decided to swing his foot through the ball. Not the best decision from Fletcher there. It was laughable, actually. It was a laughable moment. Key man in the first game. This is what changed the game. As Clark went into the face of the referee, and knowing the referee nation, that is something that is a no-no in his books. And initially, it would have been a yellow card for the reaction and for the initial incident that took place. But the reaction from Clark saw him red card. Referee was having none of it. And this is where it all boiled over. Everything just spilled from here on. Arguments flowing. And the Tivoli Garden players are trying to secure themselves. Then now another major issue here. And this is a huge talking point. And there was a touch on the goalkeeper. Unsure if it was a deliberate hit. Unsure what happened there. Receiving a second yellow card. But from early in the game, I do think that the Montego Bay goalkeeper was definitely inciting or trying his best for the Tivoli strikers to receive a card. So the game continued. Here is where Montego Bay got the break. Owen Garden in transition with a brilliant run. Nice run and a peeler from Brian Brown with a brilliant finish from Brown. Just putting the team in front at 1-0. At that moment, the game is 3-1 in favor of Montego Bay. Tivoli still was not out. They definitely weren't out. They still found a little bit of energy in the latter stage of the competition. Oldfield with a cross inside the box. And reply there for Tivoli Garden. Maybe a little bit too late. Not at the moment that they want it. If it was a little bit earlier, maybe you would say they can punch and go further in this one. Unfortunately, that was not the case. The game ended 1-1, and on aggregate, the game ended 3-2, or should I say the tie ended 3-2 in favor of Montego Bay. I thought that Montego Bay would have won that game outrightly, but that's just never meant to happen in that manner. But boy, I'm telling you, this was certainly two really, really exciting games. The last game now was there's a lot of questions could be asked about the last game. Even at one point, the supporters were just walking out because they just felt like they had enough. The Tivoli supporters, they felt like they had enough. They felt like they were cheated. You can't blame them on that. Senior team went down to nine players, especially one of the coaching staff as well, receiving from Tivoli Garden, receiving red card. So you do believe that players' emotions will flare up and stuff. So it's just unfortunate. It's a part of the sport. It's just quite unfortunate. But at the end of the day, Montego Bay advances to the semi-finals. So the semi-finals structured are Montego Bay versus Mount Pleasant, the derby, the West Derby. Again, that will be on Thursday at Catchinall. And then now we have the next leg, the next game, which would be Cavalier versus Arnett Garden. Look out for the preview for that one because that one should be quite an exciting matchup. Anyways, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. Congratulations to both teams who advanced to the semi-finals of the Jamaica Premier League 2024-2025 season. Big up on yourself, people. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. Now, see you guys again. Until next time. MG Sports TV. We're out. God bless. Outside. And them what? Outside.